Hello and welcome to another special, brand spanking new episode of Monkey D. Luffy vs. the World podcast. I'm Wesley.
I'm Reese.
Yes, and today we're talking about a very special thing, a very beautiful thing, and that is the One Piece film, Bear no Matsuri and the Secret Island.
I think we have a very interesting story with this film. Would you like to tell the audience what this story is, Wesley?
I would. For longtime fans of the cast, you may remember that in episode 1 we dropped a little tidbit, which was before we started this podcast and even before we started reading One Piece, Reese and I watched this movie because Reese had not seen this and he had heard that it's a wonderful film and it's like actually a real movie and it's good. And he wanted to show it to me both because it's a good movie and because it'll be a good like gateway drug into One Piece. So we watched this weeks before we started One Piece, and now we've reached the point in the timeline of the story where this film would happen, and we decided to rewatch it and give our thoughts on it now.
I mean, it was definitely really cool to show you this movie before you'd seen or known anything about One Piece, and then went, this is pretty cool. I think I want to read all 1,000 chapters of One Piece now. And I was like, yes.
Absolutely. I think this is definitely a great way to get people hooked into One Piece for a variety of reasons that I think we'll expand upon more as we discuss it. But I think once again, just one of the greatest strengths of this is the fact that it is a One Piece thing. Like, it's undoubtedly very One Piece. But at the same time, it is also just like a high quality animated film with a lot of merits of its own that stand on their own besides being a One Piece thing, which is wonderful.
I mean, I feel like I would watch this movie again right now with no subtitles on just to appreciate the visual splendor because
Absolutely.
Lovely Mamoru. He knows how to make a movie, man. This is the art style, the animation direction, the cinematography, the editing. Mm-hmm. Like, as a movie guy, as two movie guys, mm-hmm. I feel like we couldn't ask for anything more from an animated movie. Because, like, this, I can't presume its budget was notably higher than, like, any other One Piece movie. But it just uses it so much better.
I absolutely agree. I forget if it was before or after I watched, we watched this for the first time, but not too long ago I watched the first of the, like, My Hero Academia movies.
The crowd starts to boo.
Yeah, it's, I think the bottom line here with this One Piece movie is that the fact that it is so unique with its visual style just automatically sets it apart from, like, anything else in this genre.
Yeah, I sort of, it makes me very sad that the big three all have anime adaptations that are very risk-averse. I actually saw a really interesting discussion about this with Naruto on Twitter that I was going to send to you, but then I realized that it wouldn't mean anything to you because you've not read or watched Naruto.
That's fair.
But, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, especially Dragon Ball Super, encounters this, where it feels like a lot of, like, any individual animator's stylistic flourishes, or just not even like a replication of like the manga's style. I feel like it can just get sanitized down so easily. Mm-hmm. And I think what makes me excited, like genuinely really excited, is Wit One Piece, the Wit One Piece remake.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel like Wit is a studio that not only is going to give us like hype moments in Sakuga and whatever, it's a studio that really wants to direct well these moments of like emotional tension and stakes. And like, I'm imagining a world in which One Piece doesn't use the same fucking stock Toei sound effects and doesn't just like have, I don't know, I think there's something charming about like mid-budget TV anime productions. Like going through the footage of Little Garden for our recent episode, I was charmed by like the limited animation, but at the same time, I would love to see something a little more like trying to capture the vibe and the emotions and the tension in like the camera department.
Absolutely, I definitely agree. I think it's been cool to see. I have not watched much of the Bleach anime, but I have watched a few episodes of the Thousand Year Blood War. And I think the fact that it's just like the direction is great and the animation is a higher budget just instantly makes that adaptation much better.
I would take a well-directed episode over a like hype moment Sakuga episode almost any day.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting to say that because I think we may have talked about this. Sorry, we're going on a quick tangent. But ever since like a couple of years ago, Toei Animation went from... There was basically, very famously, One Piece is like the worst paced anime of all time. Like ever. Like not even like... Basically, One Piece does this horrible thing where instead of doing little filler arcs, which we can skip when you rewatch it, they just animate everything really, really slowly. Like, there are genuine examples of, like, one panel being taken into, like, a 3 or 4 minute section. Like, it is
oh my God.
obscenely... Like, I cannot describe to you how slow One Piece feels.
Yep.
Like, it is adapting a page of manga an episode. Like, it's so bad.
That is horrible.
But, The interesting thing about the anime is that it all of a sudden went from, like, Toei's, like, backlot production it doesn't give a fuck about to the most impressive, like, I've definitely told you about this, but it literally looks better than JJK Season 2. Like, actually.
That's insane.
But not always. Just so we're clear, it's just, like, every couple episodes, they'll have, like, a little 2-3 minute, like, bite where it's just the best animation you've ever seen.
I see. Okay.
And I do love that, and when we get to that point in the story, I will absolutely make you watch those clips, because Jesus Christ. But I think, I don't know, just seeing, like, the opening of this movie where they're all on the beach, and they're all, like, cutting, like when they're meeting Baron Omatsuri, when they're doing a little goldfish minigame. I mean... The way they cut between Usopp, Chopper, and the guy who catches the fish, I was just, like, enamored. I was like, this is a film! This isn't a movie, it's a film!
I know. I feel like there's so many, like, little moments here or there where any lesser director would not include them, but they just add so much to this story in this film. And these characters, even.
Iconic characters like Kappa Kid who says, poo.
True. And we love him. I love him, at least.
I love the weird little chudling who Nami and Robin both flirt with.
Yeah, true. He's very fun. I mean, yeah, that is also a good point, because this One Piece, of course, every arc has their own, like, little random characters, but this movie has a lot of random side characters, and I feel like they're, I'm not gonna lie, they range from being, like, meh to pretty good. I wouldn't say any of them are necessarily great.
Stand out, yeah. I think for what it's worth, I appreciate that they didn't just do the standard thing of, okay, and now Sanji's gonna fight this one, and Zoro's gonna fight this one.
Yeah.
And Nami and Usopp will fight this one. And it's, like, no, they're all just, like, little game masters. They're doing a little, like, Mario Party minigame.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the fact that each one of them, even if they are just like a meh character, they get like a fun little moments, and the direction is still good when those characters are on screen, adds a lot to it. And also, I appreciate the fact, sorry to dog on the My Hero Academia movie again, the only side character I remember from that is like the blonde girl with glasses. That was clearly just made to like be on the poster and sell figures and stuff like that.
And she
has like, I know, true. And I think the fact that these characters aren't going for that, like they're actual characters, I think that adds a lot to my enjoyments of the greater story and narrative.
I think the biggest compliment I can give to these little shitters is that girl feels like the most anime filler character of all time. Like, you could drop her ass in Naruto or like Yu-Gi-Oh and just have her be some like, wow, she's actually kind of strong and cool, and she makes tech, and you're like, whoa! Yeah. And she kind of has a crush on the main character. Like, you could literally put that in any anime ever.
Right.
But Baron Omatsuri and his weirdo crew only work in this context. Like, their existence is plot important. In fact, it's, like, thematically important, because, like, these little weirdos aren't just dispensable jobbers for, like, the Straw Hats to murder in extravagant fashion. They are the reason Baron Omatsuri has, like, fallen into insanity.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another thing that I really appreciate, that we talked about quite a bit on Hunter x Hunter on Going Freaks versus the World, is like a great artist knows to be reserved from at certain points, and this movie definitely knows when to like reserve itself and not just be hype constantly. Like there are hype moments in Aura, but we're not like seeing Sanji cave some person's skull in every 5 seconds, which I also appreciate because I think One Piece, the main story, doesn't really get that.
Interesting. I mean,
I don't know if you disagree, but I think there's a lot of times when Oda is he can be pretty self-indulgent, I feel like, especially in the arts, and I don't think this movie really does that.
But if you think One Piece is indulgent at Skypiea, then you got a bad rest of One Piece to come in.
That's fair. I'm not saying I necessarily like dislike it or anything, but it's just something that I've kind of picked up on.
No, that's fair. I think Oda is an artist with many quirks, and the little like, what is it, like an aphorism? The little aphorism that everyone says about this movie that I do agree with is this movie is so good because Oda could never make it. Like, it doesn't feel out of character for One Piece or anything, but Oda would not make a story this, like, bleak. Like, obviously, he's not opposed to having, like, sad stuff. Like, Nami's backstory is sad, but it's sad in a different way. You know, this is, like, tragic.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think the stakes here are crazier than most One Piece arcs we've read so far.
I mean, unironically, like, this is kind of End of Evangelion for One Piece, which is hilarious.
True.
Which is another kind of trite thing to say. Like, that's been said before, but, like, I see the comparison.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think, you know, going back to the direction, I think that's what adds a lot to it. Like, if you just wrote the story, there's ways to make this a lot less tragic than it is, but, like, the direction, the art design, the characters, all these things work together to make it feel like End of Evangelion in ways, which obviously I appreciate. I know we both love End of Evangelion.
It was really interesting to click on lovely Mamoru's like directorial backlog to see what he's done, and it's very weird. I don't know if you checked it.
I mean, the only thing I know is Wolf Children, I believe.
Yes.
Which is a movie I'm not necessarily super hot on. It's okay.
He did, the main ones I remember are, he did The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, which I've heard is good, but I've not seen.
I do want to watch that. It's I hear it's pretty good, yeah.
And he did the Digimon movie, which I've heard people like.
True.
But I remember just looking at it, and I felt like a little underwhelmed. I figured this would be a guy who had like a crazy backlog of like. He did Belle, which is actually something I've been wanting to watch because the soundtrack came across on my like Spotify Discovery Weekly, and it's really good. But the only problem is apparently this movie is like terrible.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about that one.
And his
know
newest film just came out. Actually, I forgot about this.
Oh yeah, it's the I'm not gonna lie, this movie sounds a little bit generic, but it's that like nighttime fantasy thing.
I mean, if you have been into a movie theater like that like will play anything remotely nerdy, you've seen a trailer for it somehow.
Yeah. I know that they played it before the JJK movie.
I've seen it like 4 times in theaters. I don't know how, but like goddamn. And it made me want to see it because like I like the it's a 3D movie with a vision, which is rare in anime. Like it has like a damn direction.
It looks a lot better than Fully Cooley Grunge, for sure.
What if The Thing showed up in that movie, huh?
I'd probably like it more.
Yeah, the TLDR is, hey guys, look up on Spotify, just look up the soundtrack to Belle and listen to the song You, because that shit is peak. I want to say the reason I actually know, hold on, I'm putting together something. Yeah. I'm pretty sure the singer, I'm not 100% sure. The singer in Belle is the same singer as the One Piece movie, Red.
Oh, gotcha.
The one about like Shanks's weird daughter,
Yeah.
which is really funny. I think that's still like the funniest movie hook ever. Is like, by the way, Shanks just had like another kid hanging out with Luffy. Like Luffy has like a sister, but like she never showed up in the manga. Don't worry about it.
That's awesome.
And it's never gonna come back. Don't worry about it. And I wouldn't have a problem with that, but like Oda was like, "Yeah, Uta's canon. Don't worry, guys." And I was like, "What the fuck do you mean Uta's like, what? Why?"
That is very funny. I'm reading through Hosoda's wiki page right now, and I guess he directed a few episodes of Samurai Champloo, but he directed them under a pseudonym for some reason.
Suda 51.
True. That's very interesting. I wonder why he did that. He was also going to direct Howl's Moving Castle and then got kicked off of it.
That is crazy.
That is crazy.
What the fuck?
Wow. I'll also, that's kind of a tangent. I'll have to read more about that later, but that sounds insane. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the TLDR is that, like, this guy is clearly a guy with a vision, but I don't know if I cared that much about his other films that much.
I kind of agree.
Which is a shame, honestly.
I don't know if this was his doing. Like, I don't know if this was him as a director, or if it was like his DP or his like animation like supervisor. But whoever cooked up the art style for this movie does deserve like a Nobel Peace Prize.
Absolutely, because I'm thinking back to Wolf Children, and I remember I'm not that impressed with the art style of that movie. It's got similarities to Baron Omatsuri, but it's definitely not as impressive.
I mean, I'll be honest, I watched the last 10 minutes of it when I walked into your house one time, and I wasn't impressed with it.
Buddy, I can promise you, if you watched the first 90% of it, you would not feel any different.
I think the only thing, I'm looking at screenshots right now, and the only thing that's catching my attention is that the mom looks like Yui from Evangelion.
She does. She genuinely does.
I'm sure there's like a furry out there who this movie means a lot to.
We know furries who this means a lot to.
We know chuds who love Hikari. This is a different guy.
That was a good bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can call me Comedy Shorts Gamer, man.
Comedy Short Gamer. We know the kind of music he listens to. Let's just say if Mamoru Hosoda directed the music video for a certain song that's the theme song of a certain misogynistic character from JJK, we'd all be standing up and putting our hands over our hearts for that one. Togi? If I had it. Togi?
I feel like we have been not talking about this movie, Wesley.
True. I mean, I do want to jump back to the movie and just say that I think 95% of the outfits that the Straw Hats wear in this movie are, like, their best looks, maybe.
I did not appreciate when Sanju was dressed as Shrek, or when Zoro wore, like, a poop brown shirt.
I didn't like either of those either, but I love Usopp and Chopper's, like, summer fits. I love Luffy's fun hoodie. I like Nami and Robin's pretty dresses, and I like Sanji's fun yellow stripe shirt.
Yes. I think...
but those two that are bad are pretty bad.
I think something I can appreciate about this movie is that every Straw Hat gets to do something. And Absolutely. It doesn't feel like obligatory, because like the point of the movie is like how important your crew and your friends and the people in your life are, and how horrible that is to see them get ripped away. And like how do you like live with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I mean,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I remember one comment I had to you is I was very curious who was the writer for this, because I feel like the writer of this, who's not Oda or Hosoda, it's just another guy, but that writer clearly understands the Straw Hats very well. Like, you can't tell that it's not somebody more familiar with the Straw Hats writing them. They just feel right at home.
And I think the ultimate telltale sign of this is that when we see them fight and fall apart, it just feels horrible.
I know. Genuinely, the moments where Nami is like scooching away from Usopp and she's mad at him.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah, it genuinely makes me like unhappy, man. I don't like watching that.
Especially because like I feel like of all the Straw Hats, I feel like Nami and Usopp specifically have like a really beautiful friendship.
Exactly. And he also, I mean, he's kind of like baited into saying something very mean to her as well.
Well, yeah,
that feels bad too.
There's that whole. I actually literally yesterday or like the day before saw someone talk about the scene in which like he gets dragged away into the sky by like the weird wingsuit, and then comes landing back down, and like her and Usopp get into an argument, and someone's like, "This is really out of character for both of them," and I'm like, "Guys, that is the point of the scene. The point is that they're fighting, and it like isn't fair. Like they're being tricked into fighting."
Right, but I think what's impressive. Yeah, I think what's impressive about it though is that it still does feel like in character in the sense that like that situation happening to Usopp, like getting trapped in the damn flying machine, feels very Usopp, and like Nami having to kind of be a leader and get herself out of that nonsensical situation also feels very Nami. So it's just
to get trapped in the fucking Da Vinci Punk neck wingsuit.
Exactly. But it's clearly this movie is one of the points of the movie is like playing on their insecurities and making them fight and fall apart. And I think that's a very, it's a very obvious thing. It's kind of hitting you over the head with it, but I think it's effective.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Chopper gets to be cute and Robin gets to do like investigating of the mysteries and the histories. And there's that amazing scene where once again, I made a joke about this, but when Robin starts like trying to drag information out of the one guy, the goldfish guy, whose name I don't remember, I don't care. And I think that's a great scene, and I think Nami like just asking him innocuous questions and like trying to get to know him to kind of make everyone jealous, which is really funny. True. In the most beautiful dress I've ever seen.
Also true.
Good Lord. And I don't know, man. It's got soul and it's like genuinely creepy. And I remember it's like well lit with like candlelight and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the candles like flickering in that scene was a inspired choice. And
like everyone's just getting picked off like it's a damn horror movie. Like this is a slasher film.
I know. I mean, one thing that we haven't really touched on yet is the fact that this is like, it's a creepy movie. I think some people kind of overstate the creepiness of it. Some people are like, this is actually just a horror movie. And I'm like, I mean, it has things in common with horror movies, but I wouldn't say that it's just a straight horror movie. But I appreciate that it has like kind of cross-genre elements that are also very effective. Mm-hmm. It adds a lot to like the texture of the themes of this movie.
I agree. I think people get a little too like lost media about this movie.
I know you made this point, but it definitely, the way people talk about this is like it's like a creepypasta, like Sonic.exe or something like that. And it's like, I don't know if it's like that.
I don't want to dismiss you guys out of pocket, but maybe stop being annoying about everything.
True.
But
yeah.
For what it's worth, I think the Flower is an amazing villain, like an amazing force of nature, like cosmic horror almost, like antagonist.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny that despite it being such a creepy visual, Luffy just like punches it and it's like goes like boing.
True. That is funny. Yeah, I mean, when the Flower transforms into like the weird abomination that's like a combination of all the Straw Hats and the weird face, that is a creepy visual. And also like the visuals of when the big flower stem turn into a bunch of arrows and like Luffy just looks horrified with the red moon behind him, like that's also a great scary visual.
That red moon was cooking.
True. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know you and I glazed this for hours before, but I do just want to glaze it again on the podcast. I think genuinely the most unnerving moments and the moment that I probably like the most is when for basically no reason, when the Straw Hats are all falling apart and they're trying to escape, Baron Omatsuri has like another challenge, which is basically just, I'm going to have a bunch of guys come and try to shoot and kill you, and he reveals it by lowering this like sheet, and for some reason the sheet is complete. It's like a curtain, and it's completely CGI, and it like falls away in such a weird, uncanny way.
It genuinely makes my skin crawl, man. It's so unsettling and interesting.
Because what's interesting is that there's other moments that utilize CGI in this film, but this moment just feels so unnatural because we see so many moments of like the like fabrics or curtains move like just animated in 2D. So the fact that they chose to make this one 3D and just the way that it falls down, it just feels like it feels wrong. It's so cool.
I think another creepy moment that I really appreciate is when the little chudling who's talking to Nami is like having an existential crisis because he realizes that like something is very wrong here. Yeah. Same thing with the kid who goes poo, because like he's like, why can't I die? And he's like, just because you're strong. And he's like, but he cut me and I didn't feel anything. Like I felt I felt his blade rip through me, and I looked down and nothing happened, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And my other final quick point with that little chudling scene is I fucking love that he's like, yep, we were a crew to rival the Roger Pirates. And I was like, no, you were not, dog. No, you were not.
True.
Shut the fuck up.
That is funny.
I kind of love how, and I commented this when we watched it the second time, because I didn't put this together the first time.
Yeah.
But this movie is basically just a dark, weird retelling of fucking Long Ring Long Land.
Right, and it happens right after Long Ring Long Land.
Yeah, so in the canon of like this movie, they basically go on to like a silly fun and games island, and then 10 minutes later sail into like silly fun and games island 2.
Yeah, but this one is dark like a creepypasta. It has Jeff the Killer on it. But yeah, I think that's very funny. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. This movie kind of blows Long Ring Long Land out of the water, man.
I mean, I agree. I think people are way too harsh on Long Ring Long Land. I think I'm charmed by it. I won't lie.
I agree. I mean, it's far from perfect, but you know, I still had fun.
Look, man, I think that Aokiji ending is also just peak.
Yeah. It is. I agree with that.
But I think it's interesting that like instead of getting to have like this cool like and kind of creepy with the Aokiji stuff, not creepy but like intimidating, put you on edge. Like instead of that, this arc's, because it can't like do like a bunch of like really cool world building and whatnot, it has to supplant that with, oh hey, we're gonna fucking just like go to the nightmare dimension.
True. The Twilight.
And everyone Luffy knows and loves is gonna fucking die as he watches.
True. It is an interesting choice, but I think it works. I think I don't know. Something I've noticed is that One Piece arcs or sagas seem to tend to have like a very clean, happy ending, and I don't really have a problem with that. But I do think it's actually particularly effective here because Luffy genuinely feels like it looks like he's at his breaking points in full despair. So I think having this happy ending at the end is especially effective.
I mean, I just think the pure relief he feels in seeing that his friends are still alive is magical.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone, this is maybe a discussion for a proper episode of the One Piece podcast. This is more like a DLC episode. But
True.
Someone once said that Luffy's greatest strength as, like, this is a discussion that many people have about many shonen characters, and I love them. But Luffy's greatest strength is he is able to sort of intrinsically understand what someone feels and needs.
Interesting.
I think a great example of this is in Alabasta when Luffy goes to Vivi, saves her on the bird, and he's like, I can hear your voice.
That is a great moment.
And I think that's interesting because not only does that showcased here, but that kind of gets flipped on its head a little bit. With the little girl literally hearing the Straw Hats' voices. and like
Yeah.
telling him that it's gonna be okay, and like the little Charlie Chaplin / redacted man who
True.
like who like is there for Luffy when he needs him most, and they kind of have an adorable little relationship.
Yeah.
But also like, I think I think Luffy being there for this band of weirdos too is like very inspiring.
Yeah. I agree.
Like when he blocked all the arrow shots with a rock, and then just the most satisfying punch I've ever fucking seen.
True.
Like I think it's a little,
man.
it means something, but it's interesting to see Luffy as like the emotional recipient, not the emotional like giver.
I think that's a great point. Yeah, I agree. It's an important way to like balance his character and give us another side of him that we don't get to see that often in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we
actually
see
get
more
to see
after the
it.
manga.
We get to see
Actually,
a little bit in Long Ring Long Land if you think about it.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
But sorry,
Yeah,
what
I
were you
think.
gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say I think something that's interesting, and once again, this is kind of getting into One Piece proper too, but unironically, I feel like starting with maybe like the end of Skypiea, but end of Skypiea onwards, I feel like we've actually started to see what feels like real legitimate stakes. And the characters are actually like being pushed to their limits, and I appreciate that, because I think, not that this is a problem, but I feel like some of the stakes in earlier One Piece feel not that heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, starting in Skypiea, everything onward so far, all these arcs have felt like legitimately pressing for the Straw Hats to find a way to get out of it.
Even Long Ring Long Land somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that Aokiji moments really pushes on the Straw Hats to try to like defeat this like god, which is awesome. And then once again, they're fighting another god here in Baron Omatsuri.
I mean, hell, in Skypiea, they literally are fighting God.
True, Mr. Eminem himself.
And they like, that is like an unwinnable fight, but Luffy just gets to like luck into shit stomping him.
Right. True. I think it's interesting because Aokiji feels like a unwinnable fight, and we don't know how that's gonna go if he comes back and fights again. And then Baron Omatsuri feels nearly like an unwinnable fight. Like Luffy kind of needs the help of his newfound friends on the island to win. So it's very interesting that we're seeing these really powerful opponents.
Yeah, I feel like Luffy doesn't really struggle much up to like where we are. Like against even
Right.
like Arlong, who in theory has so much emotional weight. Luffy kind of just kicks his ass.
Yeah. Crocodile, like technically he loses the first time, but then I'd say he
Loses the
wins
first
pretty
two
handily
times.
at the end. True.
It's sort of weird because Crocodile just sort of like jobs him out twice, but for some reason that doesn't raise the stakes as much as you'd think.
Yeah. That's that's true. I think
But,
it's
like,
yeah.
Man.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, comparing that to like this movie,
Yeah.
where like Luffy truly feels desperate when he's like crucified and he like stretches his neck to try and like save everyone.
Yeah.
And he's just like this fucking Shinji-esque like mess.
Yeah.
And he's got to get like rallied back
By Charlie Chaplin.
by Charlie Chaplin and the little girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of love it, man.
It's a film, man. I think that the highest compliment I can give is it's not a movie, it's a film.
Mhm. Yeah, I just like looking at this movie, man. Like every frame I see of it, I'm like, oh, I like that. It's cool.
I wish One Piece looked like this more.
I think the promotional material they've released for the Wit stuff so far makes me very hopeful, but I'm not sure.
I had a fun idea for the Wit piece.
Yeah.
Anime. You know what I think they should do?
What's that, sir?
They should do like for the cover stories. They should basically open every episode on like a 1 minute cold open of like, here's what
Oh, that would be peak.
Django's up to like during Little Garden, and then we cut to like the actual episode.
Yeah, I would love that. That would be awesome.
Instead of basically because the original anime originally just tried to adapt them fully into full like filler arcs, and people hated them, so they just stopped. So you just wouldn't see Django like doing the dance party, and he'd just show up at an arc later, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess Django's here now.
That's insane.
I want them to. I think that's a really important part of One Piece is the cover story. So I think like having them be little like 1 minute teasers at the start of episodes and into like anime OP into the actual episode.
Yeah,
fun.
I think that'd be incredibly charming. I hope that they do that.
But yeah, I feel like what's good about this movie is just so plainly obvious. Like, I feel like if you talk to anyone about why this movie's good, especially like people who like movies, I think it's just like, this is not shonen slop. This has a vision. This has like an art style. This has visual direction. This has heart. It's like a comedy and a tragedy. Like, I feel like it's just giving you everything you could possibly want out of something like this.
Yeah. It's I've noticed something as we work on this podcast. Sometimes it's hard to like talk about something that's basically only praiseworthy. But genuinely, I don't know, man. This is just a piece of art. It's like, I don't know how else to put it. Clearly, this movie resonates with a lot of people, which makes me very sad that there's no. It's very hard to watch this in actually most regions. I hope they do like a 4K release of this sometime.
I'd buy a Blu-ray of this.
Absolutely. I'd go see this in the theaters. Please bring this back to theaters.
Holy shit.
I know.
I mean, I feel like it's funny because most One Piece, like, most anime movies in general are not worth seeing in theaters, but this gets that, like, gold star.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's, genuinely, I think the direction is on par with the wonderful direction in the Chainsaw Man movie.
Let's not get crazy. I mean, they're both very good. They're both very good.
Yeah. I probably prefer
thought.
Yeah, I probably prefer the Chainsaw Man movie, but like I genuinely love both of these.
I do too. I think I definitely prefer the Chainsaw Man movie, but I do love this.
Yeah, absolutely. If let's just say if Reze was in this movie, people will be talking different about it. That's all I've got to say.
All right, buddy. Do you have anything else to say about this lovely film?
I don't think so. The Baron Omatsuri, that's the type I do like. That's what I gotta say.
I like Baron Omatsuri. I like Baron Omatsuri. Would you like to end this off with a score?
Sure. I gave this a letterboxed 4.5 out of 5 stars. How about you?
I believe I gave this a 4 out of 5, but let me double check. I mean, this is just a good ass movie.
I agree.
I gave this a 4-star. I think this is, and this is a strong 4-star. Just so we're clear, this is a good ass movie. I'm very proud. I've seen this movie twice, and that is a high compliment. Yeah,
I'd watch it again. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to this special little episode. Right before this, we released the Long Ring Long Land episode, and we have another episode coming out in the future. So please subscribe and ring that bell.
Ding.